बता दी. Master class, so I didn't even consider. Okay, if I have to consider the master classes, she has taught more than 15,000 to 20,000 plus students, because she not only teaches Warli, she also teaches Meenakari as well, and even paper jewelry. So she'll be giving her introduction, and take the most out of this workshop, guys, because this 1 hour is really precious. I hope all of you would make the most out of this. Yes, Varsha ma'am, over to you.
Yes, Ayushi, thank you so much. And yes, thoda sa correction in the numbers. I have taught more than 30,000 students as of now. So,
Oh, guys, गलती हो गई मेरे से तब तो.
Okay, and I am actually privileged to be the part of Bit Class because I have connected with the people pan India, and I can see lot of beautiful smiles. Can I see some smiles? Yes. Yes. Anusha, Rajita ji, Pallavi ji, we have Samiksha, we have Preeti Smita, then we have Dipanshi, Dipanita, Bhumi, Sonali, Surbhi, Rupa, Mehak. Yes, jinke cameras khule, I'm taking their names. Let's see. Priyanka ji, okay. Garima, fantastic. The moment I start taking names, the cameras khul jate hain. Ayushi, you should learn this tricks from me, okay?
Yes, surely, ma'am.
So now quickly, I'm going to start off with my introduction, and then we will start off with the session, okay? So hi everyone, my name is Varsha Srivastav. I'm from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. By profession, I'm a handcrafted jewelry designer. I have the expertise in paper jewelry. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an online educator and a social activist too. So in the field of paper jewelry, I hold a world as well as national record. I have been awarded from the Central Ministry of India as well as many state ministries and the governors of 2 states. And apart from that, I am also an empaneled designer and artisan from the Ministry of Textiles of India. So this is about me. And yes, it's been more than 7.5 years I'm working in the field of paper jewelry and art and crafts. And I know a lot of Indian and international art forms because of paper jewelry. So the national record which I have is making 300 designs and patterns of paper jewelry, which is crossed around 1500 designs as of now. So I actually make a lot of art forms on my paper jewelry. And because of paper jewelry, this Verli is also there in my life. So I'm practicing Verli from 2.5 years. And one of my customers gave a sari and she asked me to replicate the design which was there on her sari border in the jewelry, in a paper necklace. I just replicated that design and it came out very beautiful. And this is how I got connected with this Warli art. I fell in love with this art. I started making more and more products and I added those products in my business and my business grew like anything. So this is how I got connected with Warli. So now I have a question for every one of you. That how many of you know about Warli? So if you know about Warli, you have to write yes. If you don't know about Warli, write no. And if you know little bit, write little bit. Okay, let me see. All right, all right. So this is my way of checking that how many of you are actually awake. If anybody is sleeping, that will actually write it in the chat box. नींद में भी लिख देगा. ठीक है, लिख देते हैं मैम के लिए, फिर जग जाते हैं. No problem. Okay. 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 Parna has asked one question that, ma'am, can you show your paper jewelry, please? Okay, so once I'm done with my session, once I'm done with my drawing part, I'm going to show you my stuff, whatever I teach and whatever I make in the class. And paper jewelry is also there. Okay, so you have to stay with.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. And yes, Ayushi said that the question and answers will be done at the last. But नहीं. मैं साथ साथ चलाती हूँ सब कुछ. No problem. Okay, Rajita ji is also from Lucknow. क्या बात है? Where do you live, Rajita ji? देखो यहाँ पे दिल के connections होते हैं. People get connected.
Somnath Dwarkant. Railway colony.
Okay, that's fantastic. I live in Rajajipura.
Okay, ma'am.
Very nice. All right. Matlab, this is fantastic. Okay. So I have the connection with each and every one of you. No worries if you are from Lucknow or not. No problem at all. Okay. All right. So now we will be starting off with the session. Yes. But before starting off with the session, let me tell you what is Verli. Obviously, I have just done a small survey that how many of you know about Verli. Yes. There are a lot of people who don't know about it. There are a lot of people who know a little bit. And there are a lot of people who know about it. No problem. I'm going to tell you everything about Warli. So guys, Warli is a very beautiful Indian tribal art form, which is actually originated from the outskirts of Maharashtra, especially from the Sahyadri range. And these tribal people who reside there on the outskirts of Maharashtra, they used to paint their mud house walls using the rice water paste as the color and bamboo stick as the brush. So if you see these paintings, you will see the reflection of the lifestyles of these people. Okay, so it is a concept based art form that we have to make the tribal life or village life in this. Okay, another thing is that before 1970s there were these people used to make these paintings, and this painting was limited to its tribal region. But after 1970s, this art form took another regeneration. So I'm going to tell you how. Now, before 1970s, there were two colors used in this particular painting, which was the mud color of the mud house wall and the rice water paste, which was the white color. After 1970s, painted Warli was introduced. People started making painted Warlis because this particular art form started traveling toward the cities as well. Okay, so people got to know about Warli in cities and they started making the painted Warlis as well. Now, before 1970s, there was one base which was the mud house wall. But after 1970s, people started doing experiments on different bases like paper, canvas, coasters, pebble paperweights, jewelry, fabric, etc. Okay, so this particular art form after 1970s took another regeneration and it came into the limelight. So it got very famous and it is still very famous. Okay, so another thing is that I'm going to differentiate this particular art form from other art forms. So in other art forms, whenever we are making the different art forms, we generally imagine it and draw. We can add different things in that. But whenever we are making Warli, we have to keep this thing in mind that we have to make the tribal life or village life only. You cannot make helicopters, buildings, or aeroplanes in the paintings. You have to stick to this point that we have to make the tribal life or village life. Another thing is that whenever we are making the human figures in other art forms, we make the eyes, nose, lips, and everything to show the facial expressions. But whenever we are making Warli, the face remains solid, but we show the expressions and activities through the body postures, leg formations, and hand formations. Okay. And yes, the figures in Warli are the stick figures. So we will be making very interesting stick figures. I am going to teach you everything. I can see Piyusha's comment in the chat box that ma'am, please tell in Hindi. Okay. So थोड़ा सा हिंदी में repeat कर देती हूँ. Is that so? Ayushi, can I do that?
Surely, ma'am.
ओके सो थोड़ा सा वर्ली के बारे में हिंदी में बता देती हूँ, उसके बाद हम लोग आगे कंटिन्यू करेंगे. तो वर्ली एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत आर्ट फॉर्म है इंडिया का. ट्राइबल आर्ट फॉर्म है एक्चुअली, फोक ट्राइबल आर्ट फॉर्म, जो कि महाराष्ट्र से बिलोंग करता है, जो कि जिसका ओरिजिनेशन महाराष्ट्र है, जो वहां से पैदा हुआ है, एक तरह से इन्वेंट हुआ है. और महाराष्ट्र के जो महाराष्ट्र के आउटस्कर्ट्स पे सह्याद्री रेंज है, वहां पे जो ट्राइबल लोग रहते हैं, उन्होंने इसको बनाना शुरू किया. एंड वो लोग जो कलर्स यूज करते हैं उसमें दो तरह के कलर्स होते हैं. एक तो है जो राइस वाटर पेस्ट है, जो चावल का पीठा होता है, जिसे हम लोग पीठा बोलते हैं, उसको यूज करते हैं कलर करने के लिए. और एक बेस कलर होता है जो कि है जो उनका झोपड़ी होती है, जो मड हाउस होते हैं, उसका जो बेस कलर है, जो मड कलर है, जो उसका बेस कलर होता है. दो कलर इन्वॉल्व होते हैं इसमें. ओके, दूसरी चीज ये है कि जब भी ये ट्राइबल आर्ट बनाई जाती है तो हम जनरली देखते हैं कि इन्हीं की जीवन शैली बनी हुई है उसमें. जैसी जिंदगी ये लोग जीते हैं वही जीवन शैली उसमें बनी होती है इनके आर्ट फॉर्म में. तो हमें उस चीज से छेड़छाड़ नहीं करनी है. हमें जब भी ये ट्राइबल आर्ट बनानी है तो हमें विलेज लाइफ ही बनानी है, हमें गांव की जीवन शैली ही बनानी है, वही दर्शानी है. ओके, तो इसमें थोड़ा सा अंतर है 1970s के पहले, 1970 के पहले और 1970 के बाद. तो 1970 के पहले जो आर्ट फॉर्म है, जो वर्ली आर्ट है, इसमें क्या होता है कि ये लोग लिमिटेड है अपनी चीजों को लेके. दो ही कलर्स हैं, एक ही बेस है. बट उसके बाद जो 1970s के बाद 1970 की बाद की जो वर्ली है, क्योंकि वो शहरों की तरफ बढ़ चुकी है, तो वहां पे चीजें चेंज हो गई हैं थोड़ी. वहां पे कलर्ड वर्ली इंट्रोड्यूस हो गई है. कलर्ड वर्ली मतलब रंग बिरंगी, बहुत ढेर सारे कलर्स इन्वॉल्व हुए हैं उसमें, और बहुत से बेसिस भी इन्वॉल्व हुए. बहुत से बेसिस मतलब अलग अलग तरह की चीजों में वर्ली बनना शुरू हो गई. जैसे मैंने बताया कि आप कैनवस ले लीजिए, आप कपड़ा ले लीजिए, आप ज्वेलरी ले लीजिए, पॉट ले लीजिए, पेबल पेपर वेट्स ले लीजिए, तो अलग अलग बेसिस भी इंट्रोड्यूस हुए हैं. उसके अलावा जब भी हम वर्ली बनाते हैं तो हमें कुछ बातों का ध्यान रखना है. जब हम दूसरे आर्ट फॉर्म से कंपेयर करते हैं, कि जब हम कोई दूसरा आर्ट फॉर्म बनाते हैं तो जनरली हम अपने हिसाब से चीजें ऐड कर देते हैं, हम इमेजिन करते हैं और ड्रॉ कर देते हैं, सोचते हैं, कल्पना करते हैं और ड्रॉ कर देते हैं। बट जब भी हम वर्ली बनाते हैं तो हमें इस चीज का बहुत अच्छे से ध्यान रखना है कि हमें जीवन शैली बनानी है इन गांव वालों की, ट्राइबल लोगों की ही, आदिवासियों की ही, या फिर गांव की। ओके, और दूसरी चीज ये है कि जब भी हम दूसरे फिगर्स बनाते हैं, लाइक जो ह्यूमन फिगर्स होते हैं, जब हम दूसरे आर्ट फॉर्म्स बनाते हैं तो हम आंखों को बनाते हैं, होंठ, लिप्स, एवरीथिंग, मतलब नाक के बनाते हैं, पूरे फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस को हम प्रॉपरली शो करते हैं, क्योंकि हमें प्रॉपर अपने फेस को दिखाना होता है दूसरे आर्ट फॉर्म्स में। बट वर्ली में ऐसा नहीं है। वर्ली में जो फेस होता है ना, उसको पूरा हम सॉलिड करते हैं और हम बाकी की जो एक्टिविटीज हैं उनको दिखाते हैं, लाइक हम हमारा जो लेग फॉर्मेशन है, हैंड फॉर्मेशन है, और जो बॉडी फॉर्मेशन हम करते हैं उससे हम दिखाते हैं कि क्या काम कर रहे हैं, उनका काम क्या चल रहा है, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज जो है वो हम उससे दिखाते हैं। ओके, ऑल राइट, सो ये हो गया जल्दी से हिंदी में, एंड आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन्ड इन इंग्लिश। नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू टीच यू टुडे। ठीक है, आज क्या सीखेंगे वो पता चलेगा। सो वी विल बी लर्निंग द बेसिक्स ऑफ वर्ली, because lot of people are there who have actually joined the Warli class for the first time. Yes, बहुत से लोगों ने पहली बार ज्वाइन किया है। So we will be learning from the basics, and the basics have the basic shapes, basic borders, basic human figures, animal figures, bird figures. Okay, so सारी चीजें बनाएंगे स्टेप बाय स्टेप, जिसमें बेसिक बॉर्डर्स, बेसिक ह्यूमन फिगर्स, बर्ड फिगर्स, एनिमल फिगर्स, बेसिक शेप, सब कुछ होगा। ओके, and I start off with the basics because of the reason that if the basics is not clear, then that doesn't make any sense to go further, right? So basics should be very, very clear. If you don't know the ABCD, we won't be able to do the word formation or sentence formation. So basics of any of the art forms is very, very important. And right now we will be starting off with the basics. I can see 130 people in house. That is super fantastic. And I want maximum people to draw along. Okay. All right. So
Ma'am, can you tell the materials?
yes, so today you just require pen, paper, and scale. A normal pen, normal gel pen, okay, a paper and a scale, because we will be starting off with the basics. Once I am done with my drawing part, I will just show you guys the full page. You can take the screenshot of that page. You can practice it later on as well, or you can obviously draw along. That is the best part. Once you will be drawing along, then you will be learning it in a better way. Okay. And another thing is, once I'm done with the session, I'm going to show you my stuff, whatever I make and whatever I teach in the master class. And after that, I'm going to hand over the session to our beautiful moderator, Ayushi, and Ayushi will be telling you about the master class details. So you have to be with us till the end, because there are a lot of surprises. Okay, lot of surprises. So how many of you are ready? Can I see the V's in the camera? Yes. So what does this mean? What does V mean? Arey yaar, V means Varsha.
Victory.
It means Varsha. Pehle Varsha, baad mein victory. Okay. All okay. So now everybody be ready with the pen, paper, and a scale. And once you are ready, just write ready in the chat box very quickly. I can see a lot of people are ready. So I'm just rotating my camera very quickly, because I am also ready with my pen, paper, and a scale. Wow, fantastic. And I can see a lot of reactions. Wow, I'm feeling so happy. Thank you so much, everyone, for so much love, actually.
Can I do it with pencil?
Yes, you can do it with pencil. No problem. Okay. Yes, so everybody ready? I am also ready. Fantastic. So we will be starting off with the basic shapes. And yes, I'm going to write the things, but I'm going to speak also. Like, I'm going to speak few things. So you have to be attentive. You have to listen to me. And you can make an arrow and write the things as well. Apart from that, if you have any queries, any doubts, do not unmute yourself, because many people can get disturbed out of that. So you can just put your questions in the chat box. I have an eye on the chat box as well. I will just see the question and I'll respond it turant, fatafat se. Okay. And apart from that, if I'm going too fast during the session, you can just let me know that, ma'am, you're going too fast. Can you please go slow? So I'll just go slow as well. Okay. All right. So firstly, just write basic shapes. basic shapes. Okay. Basic shapes. Okay. Now first shape is the circles. Circles. Now the moment I am making this particular circle, because this is hollow from inside, so this is called the hollow circle. You can make an arrow and write hollow. Okay. And if I'll just make this circle again and I'm just filling the color inside this, then this goes solid. So first circle is the hollow circle, second circle is the solid circle, and third is the dot. Okay. And trust me, all the shapes are very important, because whenever I'm going further, I'm just making the figures. I just take the names of the shapes only. Okay. Next, I'm going to make the lines. Lines. So these are the straight lines, also known as the vertical lines. Then these are the horizontal lines, also known as the sleeping lines, because people get confused between verticals and horizontals. Okay. And then I'm going to make the slant lines or tilted lines. Now these are the slant lines or tilted lines. Okay. Now next, I'm going to make the cross. Cross. For making the cross, just make a multiplication sign. Make a multiplication sign and make two lines both the sides, like this. And then make a broad cross. Now, first two crosses are used for human figures, and the third cross is used for animal figures. Okay, first two crosses for human figures and the third cross for animal figures. All right. Next, I'm going to make the cones. Cones. Now, for making the cones, just make a V. Make it upside down, sideways, left and right. Then make a cone and make another cone inside it. These are the cones. Next, I'm going to make the triangles. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask. I'm just responding. Yes.
Ma'am, what are the cones used for?
Cones are also used for making the borders. They're also used for making different figures. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So every shape has its own importance. Once I'll proceed with the basic shapes, the old man and women figure, bird figure, animal figure, you will understand each and everything. All right. Okay. Next, I'm going to make the triangles. So triangles are like this. Thank you so much, everyone, for the reaction. Make it upside down, make it sideways, left and right, and then make the triangle and make another triangle inside this. After this, I'm going to make the semicircles. Semicircles. And I'm putting a slash and I'm writing curves. Semicircles and the curves. Now there is a difference between the semicircles and the curves, and the difference is that the semicircles are broader than the curves. Okay. So I'm just making the semicircles first. Just make the semicircle like this, sideways, left and right, one line and the semicircle. Make it upside down and make another semicircle inside this. So this is the semicircle. Then I'm going to make the curves, just making the slash, and I'm going to make the curve. So as I said that the semicircles are broader, curves are not as broad as the semicircle. So it is like this or like this, inwards, outwards. Then just make it like this or like this. Okay, so these are the semicircles and curves. Okay.
Ma'am, can I ask one question, ma'am, please?
Yes,
Ma'am,
yes, yes, yes. You can ask.
triangles and semicircles and curves are used for what, ma'am? For boundaries or figures both?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Then I'm going to make the oval now. Oval. So as I said that every shape has its own importance. It has different things to do. So I'm going to make the oval now. So this is the vertical, this is the horizontal one, and this is the vertical one. Okay, this is the oval now. Now I'm going to make the eye shape or leaf shape. Now the question arises that I said that eyes are not made in the figures, then why eye shape? So we actually make the eye shape because it also represents the leaf shape, and we use it for making the fish bodies, for making the borders. So every shape is used. Whatever shape I'm making, every shape is used. Just make one curve and make another one. Make it in a vertical manner and make it in a slanting manner. This is the eye shape or leaf shape. Okay. Now next, I'm going to make the checked lines. Checked lines. So for making the checked lines, just make the vertical lines and make the horizontal lines on them. Then make the slant lines and the horizontal lines on them. And make the slant lines and the slant lines on them. Like this. Meera, you can make the right slanting line as well, the leaf as well, no problem at all. Okay. So you can just make it like this as well. And we will be making it in the border. No problem at all. Okay. So now I'm going to make the spirals. And for making the spirals, I'm going to make it like this or like this. These are the spirals. I hope I'm not going that fast. I can see a lot of people in house. This is super fantastic. People are drawing along. Hopefully. Yes, thank you so much for the reactions. And now I'm going to make the waves. Waves. So these are the high waves. And these are the low waves. High waves and low waves. And now I'm going to make the last basic shape, and then we will be proceeding with the basic borders. And in the basic borders, you will be able to practice your basic shapes because we will be making the shapes multiple times. So now I'm going to make the last basic shape, and that is the mango. M-A-N-G-O. M-O-T-I-F. Mango motif. Okay. So mango motif is made like this. And the second one is made like this. If you want me to repeat, I can just repeat it for you. Okay, so these are the mango motifs. You can also make the mango motifs vertically, horizontally, in a slanting
Ma'am, you
manner.
can make mango moti again.
Yes, please, bilkul. It will be made like this. Okay. And like this. Okay. I hope it is clear this time to everyone. So these are the basic shapes. And now we will be making the basic borders. Okay. So just write basic borders. Yes, mango motif. Mango motif is a shape. It is also known as pasle, and it is also known as kari in Hindi. I'm just making it again because we have a demand. So just make it like this. And then make it like this. It's easy. जब practice करेंगे तो easy हो जाएगा. No problem at all. Okay. Now I'm going to make the just borders. And for the borders, we require the scale. It's Paisley. P-A-I-S-L-E-I. Yes. Yes, who's this? Guys, it will be great if you just put your questions in the chat box, because at times the voice is properly not audible, or else rest of the people get disturbed a bit. Okay, that will be great. It's Rajita ji, it's Paisley. P-A-I-S-L-E-Y. And carry bolte hain Hindi mein. In Hindi we call it carry. Okay, so I hope everybody is enjoying. Can I get some reaction? Fantastic. Very nice. Okay, so we will be proceeding further, and I am going to make the borders. You require the making 2 lines like this. We will be making the first border, and I'm going to teach you different patterns also in one border. Thank you so much, everyone, those who have given the reaction or those who have commented. Okay, so one thing before proceeding, that in tribal life or Warli, the triangles and dots are very prominent. Okay, so we will be making the triangles first. So this is a simple border which you can make in your drawings of Warli. Okay, whenever you are doing the fair work, and if you will join the master class, you will do the fair work along with me. Okay, now I'm going to put the dots both the sides, and the pattern changes. So I'm going to teach you different patterns also in one border. Okay, I just kept the dots and the pattern changes. Now I'm going to change the pattern again. And now changing the pattern again, I'm going to solid one side of the triangle, and the other side remains hollow with a dot. Okay, you can solid either the upper side or the lower side, no problem at all. But we will be soliding one side of the triangle, and the other side remains hollow with a dot. And with this, the pattern again changes. So you can also make this border whenever you are making the fair work. Right now, I'm doing the rough work, so I'm not doing any measurements for the border. But whenever you are doing the fair work, always do the measurements for your border. Okay, this is the first border, and I have taught you different patterns in this. Now I'm going to make the second border. Just make 2 lines again. And in the second border, I am going to make the slant eye shape or leaf shape. So it will be made like this. This is the slant eye shape or leaf shape. And I am going to teach you different patterns in this as well. Okay. Any queries, any doubts, you guys can ask me. I'm there to help you out. Now I'm putting the dots both the sides. Like this. Okay, and I'm going to make different patterns in this as well. The first pattern will be the line pattern. I'm just making the lines in this. You see, I'm just making the lines in this. In the second pattern, I'm making one line in the center, and I'm making the slant lines both the sides to make it proper leaf shape. One line in the center and slant lines both the sides. And in the third one, I'm going to make it solid. So we have 3 different patterns here as well. Yes. So just draw it along with me. This is another border. And anybody, any queries, you can put it in the chat box. And if I'm going too fast, you can just let me know that, ma'am, you're going too fast. I'll just slow down my pace. Okay. I can see a lot of people drawing along. This is super fantastic. Very nice. Fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to proceed further, and I'm going to make the third border. And for the third border, I'm going to make the triangles curves. So you see that we are actually practicing all the basic shapes. Yes. So I'm going to make the triangles first, and we will be making the curves in this. Now, in what manner we will be making the curves, I'm going to tell you. So I'm just making the hollow triangles inside this. And between these triangles, I'm just going to make the curves like this. Like this. Okay. Yes. So these are the triangles with curves. Another border. Now I'm going to make the fourth border, and in the fourth border, I'm going to make the crosses. Lot of crosses together. So just make the crosses along with me. Like this. And I'm keeping the dots both the sides. Very easy border. Very easy. Fifth one has only one line. In the fifth border, I'm just making one single line like this. Okay. I'm leaving some space from here. I'm making a semicircle, making another semicircle which goes solid. Then I'm going to make the line and the dots, line and the dots, line and the dots, and so on to give it a semicircular shape. I'm leaving some space again, making the semicircle, another semicircle which goes solid, and making the line and the dots again to repeat the same pattern and give it a semicircular shape.
Ma'am, some slow, ma'am.
Okay. So you see, if I'm keeping my scale over here, then my patterns are completely equal to each other, right? If you're unable to make the equal patterns, you can just
Ma'am,
keep
here, last one again, tell you.
pressure.
Semicircle.
Okay. So I'm just drawing it right here. I'm just making one of them. So I just made one line. I left some space. I made the semicircle like this. I made another semicircle and I made it solid like this. Okay. Then I made the line and the dot, line and the dot like this. So it is semicircular now. Okay. Yes, I was saying that if I'm keeping my scale, then you see that my patterns are completely equal to each other. If you're unable to make the equal patterns, you can make a line using the pencil, make the patterns and then erase the pencil line later on. Okay. I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes. Is there anybody who's sleeping? I guess nobody's sleeping. Yes. Okay. To those whom I'm seeing on the camera, I know they are awake. Rest of the people, can I get some reactions that you are awake? Yes? Fantastic. I can see the reactions. Very nice. Okay. Now I have the next border, and in this border, I'm just going to make two close lines. The lines are close to each other. Great. Everybody is awake, obviously. I am not giving a history class or maths class. It's not gonna be boring at all. Yes? Okay, so now I'm making the small semicircles, both the sides. Small semicircles, both the sides. I'm going to put the dots. And I'm going to make the lines between the semicircles. Like this. This is another border. Okay. And we are left with 3 borders, and then we will be proceeding with the basic human figures. Very quickly, I'm going to make the 8th border, 7th border actually. Okay. And then in this, I'm going to make the cones like this. And I'm going to put the dots above the lines where these cones are connected. And I'm going to put the dots below the lines where these cones are connected. Like this. Okay. Making one more of that. I have the space to make. Yeah.
अम्मा को ऊपर खाली करके दे दे बेटा किसी में.
Oh, please. Ayushi, put everybody on mute.
Yeah, ma'am, I have done that.
Talk
Guys,
to me
please, everybody be on mute.
through chat box. I'm so sorry. Okay, so everybody on mute, you can just put your questions on the chat box. I don't want anybody to get disturbed. Yes. Now I'm going to make two filler borders. Filler borders are the borders which we make where we don't have the space to make the broad borders. Now these are the broad borders, but where we don't have the space to make the broad borders, we actually make the filler borders. So I'm just repeating this particular border without these lines and in a smaller size. Just make the crosses like this. Simple crosses. And put the dots in the center this time. Like this. This is the filler border. And now I'm making the another one. In this, I'm making the slant lines together. Conical kind of a border. And putting the dots both the sides. And I'm going to put the dots on the edges as well. So these are the edges. Just put the dots on the edges as well. Now I'm done with the basic borders. And I'm going to proceed with the basic human figures. Before drawing the basic human figures, I would like to share something. Let me write basic human figures first. So whenever we are making the human figures in Warli, we actually make lot of activities, lot of different activities. Okay. The last one, I'm just bringing it close to the camera. Bhumi, 1 second. Can you see this? So whenever we are making the human figures, we actually differentiate the figures and the body posture. We make the Warli daily life, God figures, festivity figures. We make dancing figures, Tarpa dance forms. We make the different, activities which are performed under Warli daily life. Like I'm giving the example, if I am making lady who's cooking food, who is sitting and cooking food, then obviously the leg formation, hand formation, and body posture will differ. Okay. If we are making a person who's taking the stuff from one place to another, and again the things will differ. Okay. So we have to keep this thing in mind that we have to differentiate between the figures through the body posture, leg formation, and hand formation. But today it's the basic thing because basics should be important. So I'm going to teach you 4 different kinds of leg formations when we are making the standing figures in Warli. Okay. शिवांगी, हम फिलर बॉर्डर्स को वहां यूज करते हैं जहां ब्रॉड बॉर्डर्स यूज करने की जगह नहीं होती है, जहां हमारे पास इतना स्पेस नहीं होता कि हम पूरा भर दें उसको बड़े बॉर्डर से. दीज आर द ब्रॉड बॉर्डर्स. तो हम पतले पतले बॉर्डर्स बनाते हैं. ओके, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. So now I'm going to teach you 4 different kinds of leg formations. And the first leg formation is the left leg formation. Okay. Left leg formation is for the person who is standing and facing towards the left. So just make a small slant line, big slant line, and a small slant line. Similarly, the other one. Just opposite is the right leg formation. Left leg formation, right leg formation. A person is standing and facing towards the right. So this is the leg formation for the person who is standing and facing towards the right. Okay. Then we have the straight leg formation. Straight leg formation. For a person who is standing straight, this is the way of making the legs. And then we have the front leg formation. F stands for front leg formation, mixture of left and right. For the front facing person, you can make any of these. Okay. So first is left leg formation, second is right leg formation, straight leg formation, and front leg formation. Now I'm going to make the first figure of Warli, and that is the most important figure. That is the figure of the man. And I call it the most important figure because if you learn how to make this figure, you can easily make the figure of a boy, of a woman, or a girl because the figure remains the same, but we bring the changes with the hairstyles. So just make the first figure along with me. Just make a solid circle for the head. Make a straight line for the neck. One line for the shoulder. And here comes the cross for the body. Solid this portion as well. and this portion as well. Okay. Then I'm making this slant line and slant line, small slant line. So big slant line and small slant line for the hands. Ram, you can use both the leg formations for the front facing person or for the straight standing person. Okay. But they have different formations actually. So you can opt any of those. Okay. Now I'm making the left leg formation over here. So this is the left leg formation. And this is the figure of the man, the most common figure and the most wonderful one. Okay. Now after this, I'm gonna make the boy's figure. Now if I'm making the boy along with the man or women, then I am going to make the same figure like a man, but I'm going to make him short heighted. So I'm just making the boy's figure next to the man, the similar figure, but with the short height. This is the figure of the boy. And I'm making his hands like he's holding the hand of his father. Like this. If you want to bring some changes with the hairstyle, just make the lines on his head. Like this. And this is a boy. Okay. Narula ji, it actually depends upon the base you are actually taking. So what will be like normally jo base aap lete hain. So generally if I'm talking about the height, then it is approx 2 centimeters. Okay. And I just cover up the different things in particular portion, you know. So once you will join in the master class, I will just tell you the proper measurements. I will just show you because हम उसमें measurements करके ही बनाते हैं सारे figures. Okay. I hope this is clear. All right. Now next I'm going to make the figure of the women, and for the figure of the women, welcome. I'm going to make the man's figure again. So we are repeating the man's figure because we are learning the basics. But after this, once I'll make the old man and women, everything is going to change. So I'm going to make the figure of the man again. Now, if I have to make it a woman, then I just have to add a bun over here. Like this. शिवांगी बस ऊपर lines बना दी है मैंने. That's it. Okay. This is a woman. Now I'm going to teach you 3 different phases of a girl. So I'm going to make the little girl, I'm going to make the young girl, and an adult girl. Okay. So in the little girl, I'm going to draw it first. I'm going to make the figure of the man again. And I'm just repeating the figures, but I'm just bringing the changes with the hairstyle actually. Okay. So figure of the man again. And for making the little girl, I'm just going to make 2 side pony. Nahi, dot nahi hai, lines hai Shivangi. Okay. And this is the little girl. Now for making the young girl, we will be making the figure of the man again. The figure of the man again. And the difference between the little girl and young girl is, in the young girl, we will be making 1 side pony only. This is the young girl. Okay. I'm just bringing it close. Little girl, 2 ponies, young girl, 1 pony. Okay. Make this much. Then I'm going to make an adult girl, giving you some time. I mean 1 minute only. Just make it till here. Little girl, young girl, and now it's time to make an adult girl. I'm making the figure of the man again. Do not make the hands this time because we will be bringing some changes with the hands. Do not make the hands. I'm just making 1 side pony. Now the hands are a bit close to the body. In this, the hands will be a bit far from the body. because we will be making two lines both the sides to show that she's wearing a dupatta. So this is an adult girl. I'm just bringing it close to the camera. Yes. So this is the difference. Now these are the three different phases of the girls. Very quickly, I'm going to make an old man and women. Three phases in the old man and women as well. Because obviously everything happens in a different manner. And in the figure of the old man or women, everything is going to change. The neckline, the body posture, leg formation, hand formation, everything. So quickly we will be making the old man and women's figure, and I have different tricks to make them. So just write old man, put a slash and write women. Okay. So first old man has a straight back, second old man has a humpy back, third old man has a very tilted back. Okay. So I'm going to make the first old man. Just make a K for that. Make a K. Last girl, I'm just bringing it close to the camera. 1 second. Can you see it, Bhumi? So first old man, I'm making a K. I made the line, both the sides. I'm going to solid this and solid this as well. Okay. Then I'm making one line in the center for the neck. And I'm going to make the head over here, the solid circle. Now in this, I'm going to make the right leg formation because the person is facing towards the right. 1 second. Only I will see the pic. Yeah. Can you see this? Dipanchi? Yeah. Okay. So I just made the right leg formation. Now hand formation will differ. Both the hands will be towards the right. Yes, Preeti Smita, you can write your question. So just make a V for that. V. I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it once I'm done with the figure. And then make another V. Okay. And then make a curve and the line like this for the stick. I'm going to repeat it. I just made a K. I made two lines both the sides. I made it solid. Okay. One line, one neckline in the center. Here comes the head. Right leg formation. I just made a V. Another V for the hands. Okay. And I made the stick. Right leg formation. I already taught about the leg formation, Shivangi. So either he's facing towards right, so right leg formation banaya hai. Okay. Next, I'm going to make another old man which has a humpy back, which has a tilted back. Just make a slant line like this and make a semicircle over here. Slant line and semicircle, it should be smaller in size. Then just make a triangle attached to it like this. Okay, solid this and solid this as well. Now we have the slant line. So the neckline, which was straight in the first figure, it will be a slanting, a bit slanting in the second figure. Okay, right leg formation again. Hands will be towards the right. Hands will be towards the right, but it will be like a tick mark. And here comes the stick. I'm repeating the second figure again. Slant line. Be very attentive. I'm just repeating it fatafat se. Semicircle. Triangle attached to it. I'm going to solid this and solid this as well. Right leg formation. Slanting neck and the head. Thank you so much everyone for the reaction. Hands will be like a tick mark. It will be towards the right, but like a tick mark. And here comes the stick. Okay. Now I'm making the third figure very, very interesting. You have to be attentive because this is the most difficult figure amongst the three actually. Just make a bird kind of a thing. We used to make such birds in our childhood. Yes, just make a bird. Make one line from here, another one from here. Then make one line from here, another one from here. Solid this and solid this as well. Now, in the first one, we have the straight neck. In the second one, we have the tilted neck. In the third one, we will be making the horizontal neck, so as the head. Okay. Right leg formation again. Hands will be like a tick mark, but it will go more down. Like this, and here comes the stick. Okay. Repeating this figure again. Bird kind of formation first. Make one line from here, another line from here, one line from here, another line from here. I'm going to solid this and solid this as well. Neck formation will be horizontal, so as the head. This is called very tilted, the figure with very tilted body. Okay, right leg formation. Hands will go more down like a tick mark. And here comes the stick. Okay. So these are the figures of the old man and women. Okay. And now, if we have to make it a women, we will be making the bun. First figure mein yahan bun, second mein over here, third mein it will be like this. Okay. So these are the phases of an old man and women. Now very quickly, I'm going to teach you two different figures of bird and two animals. And then we will just wind up the session and I'm going to show you the stuff, whatever I make and whatever I teach in the master class. Okay, so very quickly, just write birds. Okay, I'm going to make the birds and there is a trick. Just make a hollow circle, put a dot for the eyes and make the cone for the beak. Now I'm making the slant line over here. Semicircle, another semicircle, third one goes solid. Very easy. Okay. Then I'm making two big slant lines and two small slant line. And then I am making the tail. I'm making a triangle for the tail. Okay, this is a bird. And then I'm going to make the bird. And then I'm going to make a bird with a cross leg. Okay. So for making the cross leg bird, just make the hollow circle again. Make a dot, make a cone. Okay. And then I'm making the curve over here. You remember I just made this curve. So I'm just repeating that curve over here. Bhumi, I'll just repeat it at the last now. Okay. Now I'm making the mango motif over here. These are the curves. Okay. I'm making one line, one horizontal line over here and stretching it like this and one vertical and stretching it like this and then two slant lines. This is a bird with cross legs. Okay, cross-legged bird. All right, I hope everybody is understanding. Yes, no problems at all. Now there are a lot of bird figures, but everything we will be covering in the master class now. And I'm going to make the animals now, the last animals. The last two figures are left. And I'm going to make the animals now. For making the animals, I'm going to make two animals. I'm actually left with a lot of animal figures as well, but then we will be covering it in the master class. So I'm making the Slant heart. Which bird, Samiksha? First one. Okay. First one is like this. Hollow circle, dot, and the beak. Slant line, semicircle, another semicircle. Third one goes solid. Okay. Two big slant lines, two small slant lines, and the triangle. That's it. Okay. So I just made a slant heart, just solid the slant heart. Welcome, dear. And I'm making the slant neckline. Then I'm making the broad cross. Remember, we made the broad cross over here. Yes. So you have to make the broad cross, join the lines, and solid this. Like this. This is a goat actually, which we are making. We are making the tail now, like this. I'm making the slant line, a straight line and dot, slant line, a straight line and dot, slant line, a straight line and dot, slant line, straight line and dot. Okay, this is the goat. I'm just repeating it one more time. No, sorry, Purnima, I don't give the offline classes. Okay, so this is the slant heart. I'm going to solid this. Slant line, slant neckline. I'm making the broad cross like this. I'm going to solid this. And I'm going to solid this as well. I'm making the tail like this. I'm making the slant line is straight line and dot, slant line is straight line and dot. Again, slant line is straight line and dot. Slant line is straight line and dot. This is the goat. Priti Smita, I won't be getting the time to teach any of the extra figures, but yes, I promise this that I will teach you in the masterclass if you join the masterclass. Okay. All right. So next I'm going to make the last figure, and that is the figure of an elephant. So I'm making the straight line for that. I'm left with horse. I am left with one more goat figure, then the bull figures, then the fish figures. Everything will be covered in the masterclass. Don't worry. And I'm making this spiral over here to make the trunk. One line over here to give the separation and the dot. Okay. Then I'm making the elephant body. I'm leaving some space from below like this, and I'm making the front legs, then the back legs, which are smaller. One spiral for the ears. Here is the elephant cloth. Because I'm not left with time at all now, I have to show you guys the stuff as well. And this is the tail. Okay, and this is our elephant. Quickly repeating the old women figure, old man's figure again, two figures very quickly. So for the second one, I just made a slant line, semicircle, triangle. I just made it solid. Made the slant neckline, slant head, right leg formation, hands like a tick mark, and here comes the stick. This is the second one. Just making it a woman to add the bun. Okay. And in the third one, I made the bird kind of a thing. One line from here, two lines from the above part, two lines on the below part. Neck like a horizontal shape, horizontal neckline. So as the head, right leg formation, hands will go more down like a tick mark, and here comes the stick, and here is the bun. Okay. These are the two figures. I'm repeating the elephant. Okay. So for the elephant, make a straight line. Yes, Nishit, once I'm done with my things, you will get the information about the masterclass. Here is the spiral. I'm making one line for the separation. I'm putting a dot. Making the elephant body like this, leaving some space from below, making the line. Front legs, back legs, which are smaller. Making the spiral over here. Then I'm making the elephant cloth like this. And here comes the tail. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the full page very quickly. Okay. You guys can take the screenshot of the full page and you can practice it later on. Okay. If you have not drawn it, take the screenshot. repeating my introduction very quickly, and I'm going to show you the things. I'm so sorry, Ram. I will be teaching you 3 kind of fish bodies, but in the master class now. Okay, I'm not left with the time now. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Varsha Srivastav. I'm from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. By profession, I'm a handcrafted jewelry designer. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an educator and a social activist too. In the field of paper jewelry, I hold a world as well as national record, and I have been awarded from the Central Ministry of India as well as many state ministries. And yes, it's been more than 7.5 years I'm working in the field of paper jewelry and Indian art forms and art and crafts. And it's been 2.5 years I'm working with Warli. Now I'm giving you one classwork, jaldi se. You have to give your valuable feedbacks, and then we will be just seeing the material. Whatever I make in the master class, we are not left with time. I'm just taking out all the material. Can I get some feedbacks in the chat box that how was the class? The genuine feedback. Quickly. I'm waiting. Yeah. Everybody.